You've come to the right place. In Touch Radio. Touch Radio. Touch Radio.
The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host, guests, and callers who are responsible for their content and do not reflect the opinions of In Touch Radio or its staff.
All right, good morning. Yes, it is absolutely a good morning, and your ears are not deceiving you. Sweet Pete Edwards is not dominating the airwaves this morning. He is off the air because I am here. And I just want to wish everybody a good and happy morning. Pete is out today taking a quick break. And as you all know, those that watch the show and on Facebook or YouTube or listen in on InTouch News Radio, I've missed several weeks out on the show. So Pete's taking a little R&R himself, getting his strength back up so he can do his Friday and Saturday night things. So I am here live with you today, and I'm just excited. Got behind the boards, DJ Belzer. We just listened to some of his tunes. Good morning, DJ Belzer. How you doing, man? Good. Glad to have you here. Listen,
thank you for having me.
All
yes,
right,
sir.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you being here every morning and keeping us on track. So look, listen, y'all know how this thing works. The principle of straight up the middle is that we have a Democratic, left or liberal slant on issues, and then we have a right or conservative slant on issues. But when nobody else is in the chair, I tend to run this thing off to the left a little further. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm sorry for not responding to your emails that you're going to be sending me, complaining that I am too far leftist and that I've now gone into the world of being a complete socialist. Now, on occasion, based on some of the things Sweet Pete says, I wonder about his commitment to this conservative cause, but we'll go back to that later. And if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, you will notice I am wearing my Go Rattlers shirt and my Rattlers hat because Florida A&M University is celebrating its homecoming this week. My daughter, she attends Florida A&M University, and I was just elated yesterday at the outpouring of love with them being on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. He did it live from the amphitheater, the Will Packard Amphitheater that Will Packard has built on campus. Usually when a college builds something, it's some old curmudgeon, ancient, historic relic of a person that nobody remembers who they were and what they did or when they came through the campus. So it's really moving to see someone as young as Will Packard, who's one of the great producers, movie producers, putting his money where his mouth is and the education, where he got his educational start into that university up there. And it just really is moving. And the A-list celebrities who showed out in support. Kevin Hart was there live, on the set for the entire show, did a great job. Now other people kind of came on at various times during the show, but it was just a beautiful moment to see people in the industry, the power that they have, and them putting that to good use in that kind of form. So just kudos to Will Packard, to Florida A&M University, and all the people that tied into that. I want to go ahead and also thank the Grambling for coming down as well and being part of the homecoming celebrations. Sorry for the loss you guys are going to take today, but you know how this thing works. So shout out to FAMU and to all the schools celebrating homecoming. Want to give you a shout out and wish you well. Listen, it feels like we're turning the corner on this COVID thing. It just feels that way.
Just a little bit.
It feels that way.
Like that, yeah.
Well, here's how it feels that way. No one's camped out in the parking lot of the hospital reporting that they only got 2 beds left. That's what they were doing for a while.
Right.
No one's saying that, listen, reporting every day that another, 3,000 people died. I really wish they would report the good news about we're moving in a positive direction. And in fact, how about, this is crazy, Florida, lowest COVID numbers in the country.
Wow.
Lowest COVID numbers in the country. I think we should be reporting more good news. We celebrate things that go well. We talk about the things that go right. And just like we reported and scrambled and hid in corners when things were going bad, I think we should be celebrating now that COVID numbers are moving in the right direction. I think the CDC has authorized kids now as young as 5 can get vaccinated. I tell you one thing about the COVID numbers that surprised me. The military, one of our most conservative groups, their vaccination rates are all over 90%. That is crazy. Over 90. Here we have Kyrie Irving giving up millions of dollars and won't get vaccinated. Contrast, we've got these young military officers, sailors, Marines, pilots, whatever they may be in our military, putting their lives on the line, and 90% of them have gone and gotten vaccinated. I just think it's a good thing right now that the COVID numbers are moving in the right direction, and I think we got it. And I know what they're concerned about is that if we take our foot off the gas pedal, start being careless, the numbers could go back up. But the numbers are going down. The question is, well, who gets credit for that? Who takes credit for the number? The CDC, the individuals, Joe Biden. Does Biden get to take credit for it? We blame Trump when the numbers went up. Does Biden get credit when the numbers come down? What about DeSantis? He kept Florida running, and our numbers are dropping. Again, a lot of folks lost their lives and are in bad situation as a result of that. So it's something to think about. But the question is, who gets the credit now that the numbers are going down? So, of course, just in case you wonder, I can't do it by myself. I try to, but I can't do this or my marriage by myself. So I'm going to ask for some partnerships in this. The call-in number is 813-444-9588. DJ, man, come on. I got the number, man.
I was just helping you out.
I've been saying the number for 5 years. It's 813 till I say it wrong, right?
Right.
813-444-9588. If you're listening, I would love for you to call in, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about the topics that I might be discussing or any other topic that's on your mind. Let's make this day count for something. But I want to start with that positive news that the COVID numbers are dropping, which means that the risk of us all dying. I don't think about getting infected. I don't worry about that. I worry about dying, getting really, really sick, or being crippled by this disease. So in my mind, as the numbers drop, so does the chance that I might die from COVID. I always think about it in those terms, and hopefully other people will too, and continue to be vigilant in what they do. And I didn't understand. One of the things somebody said to me about the military was, they get vaccines all the time.
Well, military does get vaccine all the time.
All the time.
And
like all kind of stuff.
Being a military vet, you really ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
So
right.
If they say you need to get a vaccine, you go get a vaccine. Pretty much.
Yeah, but some people are told, look, you get a vaccine at CNN or not, and they left their jobs.
You can't leave the military. You're on the contract.
What else separates you is considered, let me think if I got it. It's violation of a lawful order. If you're ordered to get a vaccine and you don't get the vaccine,
right,
that's equivalent to any other order that you receive that's lawful and you go against it.
Right.
And they were saying that ultimately in the military you can be discharged. Now they said they won't likely start with that. They'll probably come with another program where you're tested, twice a day or once a week, or they'll try, or you're reassigned to a place where all you people are unvaccinated.
All I can remember is when I was in the military and I was going through boot camp and I had to go get my shots. I got shot so many times. I didn't even want to get no more shots, but they sent these rookies in there. I got a penicillin shot like with a needle this big. It was just crazy. It was just crazy.
Really?
It was like shot after shot after shot.
And they didn't give you. It was almost like you got a choice, right?
They ain't get no choice. You was in a line and you had to go get it. That's it.
Really.
Yeah.
All right. So military is leading the way, everybody. And I just hope that everybody's encouraged to also go out and get your shot. Something else that I'm sure all of y'all are feeling. We got a new word. We've got a new word. So my undergraduate education is in finance. I went to the business college, got an undergrad in finance, master in business administration, and I've never heard this word until now. It's an interesting word. It's called skimpflation.
Skimpflation.
Not inflation.
Skimpflation.
Not deflation.
Skimpflation.
Skimpflation. It's called skimpflation. It's an interesting thing. It's called McDonald's giving you less fries for the same price.
Oh.
It's called, the drink's been a little smaller We're gonna sell you the same price.
They've been doing that for a while.
We're gonna just give you. It's called. They're calling it skimflation because the cost of things are going up, and people are very price sensitive. If I am used to buying this bottle of water for $1,
Right.
and you change that to $1.15, I might have something to say. But if you drop the water line inside the bottle, I might not notice that as easily.
Right.
And so what they're saying now is you're finding a lot of products, providers, and potato chip companies been doing this for a while.
Potato chips they've been filling the bag up with air.
So what's happening is it costs more money now to deliver goods. One of the things that you can easily see when we're delivering goods is
we got to call it. We got to call.
All right, so we'll deal with the cost. So one of the things you see when we're delivering goods is the cost of everything goes into that. So let's bring in this caller this morning, and I think it's Professor Tony Seabrook. Professor Seabrook, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Good morning, Professor. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I want to make sure you can hear me well enough. I'm using some earplugs to try to drown out some background noise.
Got it.
Can you hear me well enough?
Absolutely. And I appreciate you taking a moment this morning to kind of jump in with us. As I indicated earlier in the show when I kicked off, Pete's out. And, the world gets worried about me sitting here by myself without some Republican counterpart. It's like censors and want to make sure I don't say the wrong thing. Like you or Pete can stop me. But anyway, we got you here, man. So all is well in the world. Well, good morning to you. Happy that you could join us, man. So what's been going on, Professor? How you doing?
I'm doing well. And I'd have to say, first, I'm sorry I didn't make it into this show. I had no idea. I've been just what I told you when I left. Heads down. I don't think I've watched one full news segment of any kind. So just trying to stay in my lane and get through this research.
So then, remind everybody and I'll just briefly. You all recall, of course, Professor Seabrook is one of the co-hosts here on the show. He took a little sabbatical, working on his PhD, which I love the idea of continued education and growth. Go ahead and remind us, Professor, if you don't mind, what the basis of your PhD research is on.
Well, it's on it's on Tinto's theory and black male persistence in the Florida college system. And what that means as far as Florida college system is the 28 public colleges. As I'm going through this, I'm seeing things that, state college which is what we used to call the community colleges that turned to four-year schools or had, four-year programs. We call them state colleges, but I'm not seeing that consistent in the literature. But I'm using Tinto's theory, which is a theory of student withdrawal. And it's a symbolic interactionist theory, which is kind of technical here, but I'm trying to keep it really lay, which is really one of the sociology of education theories that deals with how students perceive themselves within the formal culture of the college and the subculture of the college. And then just how it pertains to black male persistence really starts before higher education. Although that's not my focus, I couldn't, you can't do research about something that you study when there's copious data that shows that, these things took place before college. So I'm looking at theories of the labeling theory. I think I spoke about a couple of years ago. A very familiar concept, Why Johnny Can't Read, from the 70s. Things like that were born out of what they call the labeling theory, the self-fulfilling prophecy from the, I think, late 60s, early 70s. And how it pertains to African-American males or black males is, there's, what they call an open secret that black males have been labeled certain ways in certain contexts, different groups. In K-12, it's by their teachers, maybe administrators, counselors, even outside of the school. But certainly in higher education, it's via the actual culture of the college, administration, and so forth. So those, the way that black males have had to construct their reality in the context of higher education, it's really kind of swimming upstream, because when you look at remedial education and kind of switching gears, but this is the parallel that I have to keep. remedial education comes out of K through 12. There's no secret, how Florida ranks, how the U.S. really ranks in our K through 12 education when we look at us as a country. But where I'm focusing mine is the state of Florida. And I think it's like 54%, and I'm not looking at the numbers now, but 54% of incoming freshmen were in remedial education. Now, we've since 2013, there's been a Senate Bill 1720 that's changed that to developmental education, but that's just a play on words. And while the rates have been declining as those that have been placed in remedial education, it's really been more because of the legislation, because the legislation prevented schools from making it mandatory that if a student didn't score high enough on an entrance exam that they would be that they would have to take, a remedial course. Right. Well, that bill reduced that. Didn't take away development education, but it reduced it being mandatory. Well, we're starting to see what people are saying in different camps. And, when you and I used to have our back and forth, and I go, well, where did the data come from? What was the sample size? Because, in one camp, the numbers are going up. As it pertains to African Americans, they are passing their gateway courses, which means before they had to go through 2 levels of remedial courses just to take their 4th college bearing credit bearing course to pass. But now since you remove that barrier of remedial classes, they go right into it. But the devil's in the details, because while the stats may look good that the numbers are going up as far as passing, they are still far behind, and now we even fall behind even Hispanics in that category. So the 3 major categories. So and I did bring this up so I don't get it wrong, but I don't want to, I don't give any direct quotes from research that hadn't been peer reviewed.
So let's hold it right, Professor. Let's hold it right there. We got to go to break real quick. On a comeback, I'm gonna have you wrap up, getting everybody oriented on what you're getting into, and then I'm gonna just ask you just a few easy Republican-directed questions. I'm gonna just see how your juice is flowing this morning. This is In-Text News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
So believe we 100 down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking kids state of Florida. Grab a pen of sundown 184-361 Rick. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361 Rick. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. Legal and medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them 2 brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
We're playing your favorite old school.
Nobody loves me better to their time. Makes me happy. Makes me feel
Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live on In-Text News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. have on the phone with me Professor Tony Seabrook. He's just calling in since I'm here by myself. Sweet Pete Edwards is taking the day off, get a little rest and relaxation from his weekend activities. As y'all know, he's a man about town, and he has to get his rest every now and again. So Sweet Pete's out, and so I'm here with Professor Tony Seabrook on the line. Professor, you were just kind of summing up about your research on your PhD. Anything else you'd like to share about that before we move into some hot topics?
No, it's an interesting study, and hopefully it adds to contemporary literature that talks about really the state of black male students again in the Florida college system.
I had a question. I had a question I was asking. Are you doing a look at a parallel group or a control group other than African Americans to kind of see what the differences are? Because I'll just say it this way. Because I'll say it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, people think that the issues that they deal with are unique to them demographically. And oftentimes, issues cross cultures and demographics much more than we appreciate. I just think that there may be a level of persistence in other groups, similar or not similar, but I just thought that might be, we may find out, the same effort it takes for a white person to lift 100 pounds is what it takes for a black person to lift 100 pounds. I don't know. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, no. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct there. For dissertation purposes, where you're always almost admonished to make it simple enough to get through a dissertation committee and get published, you're right, because
wait a minute. Hold on. Let me decode. Is that the reverse? Instead of teaching to the test, the student test to the teacher. Is that what I just heard? Is that what you just said?
Hey, I don't make the rules. I
agree, man. Just the word with real quick for those people who always accuse me of talking too much and Pete or not listening to y'all. The call-in number is 813-444-9588. Now, if by chance I talk too fast, click on Facebook, go to YouTube, and at the bottom of my picture, it's that same number you see right there. All right? So you can just call it in. 813-444-9588. Now, all right, Professor, you've not been in the news. I know that. But I just was talking before you came on about the COVID numbers seem to be dropping. I mean, I was saying I hadn't recently seen a helicopter flying over the hotel. I mean, the hospital reporting there are only 2 beds left. They're not roaming up and down the halls, showing, people that look like, they're not asking people if you're about to die yet from COVID and if there's something you want to say. I haven't seen those videos lately. So you just feel it. The numbers are going down. And also, I tell you, anecdotally, I listen to the people I know. Every now and again, somebody will call and we'll get an announcement or a group says, pray for so-and-so at church. They've got COVID or such and such. I'm seeing less and less of that. And in fact, Florida has the lowest COVID numbers in the country right now. Professor, I'm trying to figure out.
New COVID cases.
Yes, I'm trying to figure out, should we be giving Joe Biden credit for getting the COVID numbers down just yet? I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I'd be hypocritical if I said blatantly no. But, I mean, he's been in the seat. He hasn't done anything, I think, prophetically different or just drastically different from the previous administration. I did see some numbers in his first few months about how many people had died on his watch, and it was almost as much as, the first couple months when COVID came about. Now, that notwithstanding, I would give him not credit for Florida's numbers dropping. That's all DeSantis. But his approach is going to be everyone getting vaccinated. Who was it? Even Cat Williams was dragging Joe Biden about the hurricane response. Hurricane, blah, blah, blah. He said, well, most people they're getting vaccinated. It's like, seriously, at every turn he's pushing the jab.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are 2 ways of looking at that. He's going to be consistent. That is the Democrat posture. Everybody needs to be vaccinated. That is how the party moves. I I don't think we can refute it anymore that, at least if it's mental, the more people vaccinated, the cases drop, maybe reinfections drop, or reoccurrences drop. I don't know. I never did trust the numbers, but being in the classroom myself, I got the vaccination, and I'm just like Dave Chappelle said, that's probably the most black thing I did was get the Johnson & Johnson vaccination because I'm only going to get it once. You're not going to stick me twice because I don't really believe it, but I'm too scared not to do it because you scared me to death for all these months.
I just don't.
So I got the shot.
Yeah, right, yeah. So, I mean, it's an interesting thing because I don't remember presidents getting nearly as much credit or blame for stuff as they get today. I think now, it used to be the president got blamed if we were at war, fighting, world hunger, bigger things. Now it's everything. Yeah. I wake up and the weather's bad and I want to yell, the president is not doing anything about the weather. There are fires in California. Why isn't the president out there stopping those fires? It just seems like everybody wants to go, well, the president. And I thought that, likewise the taking of the credit. If we're going to take credit, then what about these other two things I thought you might jump out at is the crazy low unemployment numbers and the crazy high stock market. I mean, they're both, we got, again, record low unemployment. And also we've got the stock market is going crazy. It's just going
okay, but let's stop with we got the historic low because when you come in at 5 and you get it to 4.8, stop it. Now you do what Trump did and bring it down a little more, we can go with that. But I think it was at 5 when he got in office. And now it's at 4.8.
It's down.
Historically low.
It's down. That's the only word I can say.
Well, it's down, but I mean, it's down, but the drop is not what any other president would have done. So, yeah, it's down, going in the right direction, but stock market, yeah. Now, inflation.
Whoa. What would you say? It's called skimpflation.
Well, that's the word that, I'm seeing. I had to pop open the old textbook and look at some of these different forms of inflation, but I only know because I am paying attention. Here, I went to Orlando the other day, and I couldn't stomach putting $90 in my truck, so I did $30 on the way up. I gassed up while I was there running around with my son, and I think I did like $25 on the way back because I couldn't see myself, filling my tank over $100, so nearly $100.
Really?
That's a lot. Now, that's gas. That's
Listen
gas.
now, first of all, see, this is the kind of stuff Republicans do. Because everybody now is thinking, well, what kind of vehicle is that that's got that big a gas tank? So the professor's living large, y'all. I mean, that's what Republicans say. As Democrats, we put our $10 in and we drive to the next corner and get 10 more.
That's it. So we blaming who we blaming for the gas prices? That's what. Are we getting skimped out of that too?
Well, there's another whole drive. Yeah, we get skimp. They're cutting back on what is a gallon is no longer a gallon. You're gonna have to get a liter. But
that's just his whole approach. I don't know if that's his monetary, his fiscal approach. That's just the whole kit caboodle. But yeah, what is it? What is inflation around? Almost at 6% now. Is that what it is?
That's what they're projecting it at. Which
okay.
But if you have rising wages, low unemployment, I don't think there's any way to stop it.
Let's just say lower unemployment. So you're still trying to give your guy some credit at that 0.04 or point something drop. Yeah, lower unemployment.
And then you mix in these crazy interest rates. I saw a rate this week, 1.75% on a mortgage. That's like free money.
Well, yeah, and
it's like free money.
Talking with the local real estate guy, that's not going to be that's changing really soon. The prices are going back up.
Now, Professor, listen, I'm being told by our great board operator DJ Bezel that I have 1 minute left. It's time. I had you come in. I wanted you to help me out a little bit this morning. I appreciate you speaking in and jumping in and updating us on your research, man. And real quickly, give me a handicap on the Virginia race and Trump 2024. Yeah,
I mean, it sounds good. Trump 2024 24, but only for rating purposes. The guy's doing what he does best. He can move the needle. I hope he does not run because I don't think he'll win. It's just too many people. He's beat too many people up, and there's been a lot done to the American way and outlook. And I'm speaking from my personal opinion about that. Virginia race, I'm really hoping the challenger upsets him. One poll said he was up by 8 points. I don't think that was a very statistical, significant poll, but hey, I'm hoping we pull it out.
Well, I appreciate you joining in this morning, Professor. Thanks a lot for calling in. Keep up with the research. Keep us up to date on that, and we look forward to getting you back on the air near time in the future. Okay.
And I'll be in the studio next time. Thanks.
All right, man. Take care later. All right, then. Look, we're going to take this quick break. I'm going to tell y'all why the professor was wrong on all the things he said, as usual. But that's another whole issue. We're going to go to break. When we come back, listen, I got a real surprise for y'all. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. We'll be right back.
For all your national and local entertainment news, not to mention your favorite smooth soul and R&B flavors, log on to the letter N-touchnews.com.
Cancer affects everyone, but minority populations are often hit hardest. Moffitt Cancer Center is working to address the barriers that keep some groups from getting the care they need. African Americans develop cancer at a younger age, have more aggressive cancers, and experience worse outcomes than the general population.
While cancer treatment is evolving with precision medicine, who is being left behind? We know for many decades that some groups experience a greater burden of cancer than others. We can prevent it, we can detect it early. It's very beatable when we find it early. I have worked with cancer patients during their treatment. All cancer patients have courage.
So my treatment was about 18 months. I had 3 cancers and 7 surgeries. But my son told me, like, Mom, you're the strongest person that I know. Moffitt saved my life.
During COVID-19, Moffitt is a safe place for your cancer care. Call now to schedule an appointment.
Hi, this is Angela Birdsong with Tampa Bay Politics. And not only can you catch us on InTouchNews.com every Wednesday at 11 a.m., we now have a website at TampaBayPoliticsPodcast.com. We are on Apple, Google, Spotify, and Stitcher, which you can log in at any time and listen to Tampa Bay Politics.
Excuse me, but do this station keep you in touch?
A lot.
How do you like the music?
A lot.
Do they play your favorite songs?
A lot.
And in just 2 words, how do you like the station?
A lot.
There you have it, folks. The moral of the story is our listeners like us
A lot.
in touching you 24/7 on the World Wide Web. We're In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live with In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. We're going to prove it today, everybody. You're listening to Attorney Clint Parrish sitting in studio. Yes, Pete Edwards is off today. The man has to get his rest sometime, y'all. He's out and about town. Everybody sees him everywhere. So he is home getting his rest. So we're going to make somebody else a star today. We have a legend in studio, one of our longtime callers, none other than Carl the Trucker. Good morning, Carl. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Nice to be here,
man.
Sitting in the chair
Now,
with him.
I was out in the parking lot, and I did not see a truck.
No.
And I don't know anybody that's ever seen a truck. I mean, I know you say you're in a truck, and there's a horn sometimes, but you're a real trucker, though.
Yeah, I'm a real trucker.
Out there on the road, delivering stuff.
Yeah.
And so anyway, glad to have you here in studio with us this morning. Appreciate you stepping in, keeping Pete's seat warm for him. And let's just talk a little bit about what's happening out, because you're out on the road. You see a lot more people than I see where you're around. And give me an idea of, like, what kind of route do you normally drive?
I do retail. I'm leased with Premier.
Okay.
And they do retail with.
Are they advertised on our station?
No, they're not.
No, we don't need to mention their name
they're
then.
not. We can get them there, though.
Okay, good. So what runs do you make? What do you drive through?
I drive out of Indiana. I'm dispatched out of Indiana. Well, I'm dispatched out of Forest Park. Have two dispatchers Forest Park, and Indiana,
Okay.
and out of Kentucky.
So in a given week, where would you might drive to?
I drive. I get a load out of my home. I live in Georgia, so I get a load out of Georgia, and I head up to Indiana, and I drop that load of home good up into Brownsburg, Indiana.
Okay.
And then I continue my dispatch out of Kentucky, Franklin, Kentucky, and most of home good and stuff, retail stuff, retail stuff.
All right, so it's rare that we get somebody like you in studio. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions on my mind real quickly though. We see these trucks going by us. Most of us, they got too close to me.
Yeah.
They just put a rock on my car. The guy just splashed water on me. That trucker needs to slow down. What is it you would say to people out there that we might not know that you all are dealing with on that road every day?
We're dealing with a lot of adversity as far as slow cars in the middle lane going slow.
Okay.
When you're going below even the speed limit, and you're in that middle lane, you're blocking traffic, and that's mostly what happened with congestion. Somebody in the middle lane, because a lot of cars can't merge quick enough. If you come up to a slow moving car, you got to make a decision whether to get right or get left, and you can't. So you'll stop.
What about the sight lines in those trucks? It seems like to me y'all can't see us.
Yeah, we can, because now we have spot mirrors on the hood. We have spot mirrors on
out
the
front.
hood.
Those are things up front
on the hood, and you got those. They call them California mirrors. So so a good driver knows his sighting.
Got it.
And you can see that.
Got it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, you always jump in on us on the phone.
Right.
And I just can't can't get my hands around you like I'd
Right.
like to. So we got you here studio now.
I'm here.
Lack of a better word, your boy Joe Biden.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we got a number of things moving in positive directions, and I want to know how much credit goes to Joe Biden. Like, for example, unemployment rate's down.
Okay.
Wages are up. Stock market's gone crazy last week with earnings reports through the roof. Joe Biden, is that Joe Biden's work?
Yeah, I would say it's Joe Biden, because if you get stuff, regardless of the previous administration, if he gets that in line and gets stuff started, if the next administration don't interrupt that, yes, I would give him credit.
So likewise for your increase in fuel costs, that's Joe Biden?
Yes. That's the truth. Yeah, that's right.
Wait, you know the show.
You're right.
You know the show.
I would say that was in line in the way getting there. But
hold on now, because Trump was pumping oil left and right. He's pumping oil at any place in America. You could pump any oil.
Right.
Joe Biden comes in, slows a little bit of that down. We can hold the reserves a little more. Let's stop all this, back up off some of this fracking. Is that affecting your fuel prices?
It's affecting a lot, drastically.
Yeah.
Okay. However, every administration dumps oil into the economy during the election. Everybody does that
to bring the gas prices down, so everybody feels good. Look at you. Okay. So that's you want to be slippery then?
So that's going to happen.
Okay.
So
all right.
Coming the election, he's going to put some more. He's going to release some of the reserve.
Now you're out there on the road. You see a lot of people. You listen all day. Have you been paying attention to this Virginia governor's race?
In and out of it.
Okay.
In and out of it. From what I'm hearing is that with the political, with the Republican side.
Really?
Republicans, they really want that seat. They really want that seat, and they need that seat really bad.
Right.
But the Democrats need to really get out there and hammer that message, how slimy and just how backstabbing a lot of Republicans have been. So with that message or whatever, I think they can bring the election to the Democrats.
I'm watching this play out. I'm trying to figure out. Everybody wants to make this election in Virginia a referendum for the upcoming midterm election. Right? They're trying to make it a referendum to determine whether or not that election reflects what's going to happen in the midterms. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think it's that important an election, and it really speaks, and the outcome? How does it? Do you really think it's a referendum though on the upcoming midterm?
Yes, it's very important. Yes, it's very important because if the Democrats lose that, they can lose the House.
But here's what my thoughts are. And this may sound funky. This may sound kind of funky. All right. If the Republican candidate wins in Virginia, who's going to take credit for that?
The Republicans will.
Donald Trump.
No, but
I think Donald Trump's going to come out and say, guys, he won because of me.
But
he's going to say it. I'm not saying it's true.
Right, true, right. He's going to say it. Yeah,
you're married, right, Carl?
Right, yeah.
What you say don't have to be true, right? You're married. You're married, so you know that you don't have to say true stuff.
Right.
So so Donald Trump is going to say he won because of me, and that's going to force every other Republican candidate to make a choice.
But see, Donald Trump is not really. Donald Trump lives in a fantasy in his own mind. So what good for him, that's what he's going to say.
I'm not sure if I'm following you. What's your point?
So he needs to be, he needs that attention. Whether it's true or not, he needs that.
I agree with. I don't refute that.
He needs that.
Okay, great. But what I'm saying though is, he's going to say the reason that guy in Virginia won was because of me, and then every other Republican candidate is going to have to make a choice. Do I kowtow to Donald Trump and risk upsetting his followers, or do I go my own way? And see, this guy's kind of stayed away from Trump a little bit. He's not embraced Trump. He's done some Trumpish stuff.
Right.
But he's not let Trump come and campaign. Obama's, Kamala, they had Pharrell out. I mean, everybody and their brother on the Democratic side is rolling through Virginia right about now.
Right.
Yeah, but that to me becomes a problem, because nothing motivates Democratic voters more than Donald Trump. Right? Yeah, Bezel, what do you think about that, Bezel?
I agree. I totally agree. You got the Democrats are leading by the early votes, by early voting.
Because early voting's already started.
Right, early voting already started.
Got it.
They're leading.
Yes.
And I believe that bringing the people out that the Democrats do gets the people hyped up to go out there and vote. But this is a midterm election, and we need to go ahead and get that early vote out there. They need a Stacey Abrams out there.
Well, she was there.
But I mean, they need a Virginia Stacey Abrams. You know what I'm saying?
They don't have Virginia. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. That's his boy. That's his girl. Stacey's his girl down there.
She's a really good Democratic whip. She really get the voters, get the message out.
She gets the message out. She gets the voters moving. She needs to hold a class for these Democrats. You know what I'm saying?
It takes a lot of stuff, and you know what it takes? People feeling like they let you down.
Right.
See, she feels there are people in your state that are upset with themselves, and people in other states upset with the folks in Georgia who didn't come through for her. Now we say it got stolen, and we'll leave that alone, because other people say things got stolen, and we tell them that's not the Democratic way. You lost, accept the loss, move on. But she's so popular because people realize, you know what? She really should have won.
But see, she's popular to the women. And that's what it's about, getting the women.
That's a dude right there. Just he's hollering at women. He's a guy.
We're gonna come in line too, but just to see a woman of that magnitude, that woman, her energy, going to Virginia, a state that
Well, she plays her part, and she's very supportive, and she does her thing.
Carl, right. The most unreliable voting demographic is black men.
Black men, right.
They're unreliable.
Right.
If it turns up, the election's following a bad football game weekend and your team lost, well, you don't go vote on Tuesday. Or your team lost in the World Series that weekend, well, you don't show up that weekend. Mm-hmm. So that's really what affects, men voters. Right. Your job wouldn't give you vacation when you wanted it in December, so you don't show up and vote. We're the most unreliable demographic. You're right. The women will show up, and they're consistent.
And one other thing is that even though we're leading early in the early votes, it's the voting day.
Yes,
where we really don't turn up as much, and that's when the Republicans really come out and turn up.
Right
now, they're at 30% pretty much of the vote that they already have in, but they're neck and neck right now. So it's 49% to 48% for the Democrat Republican.
Right.
candidates, and they just need to show up
on day of election, which is the day usually that they do show up, because their electorate is usually a little bit older. It has a little bit more flexibility in its daily schedule, things of that nature, and that sometimes gives them the ability to be involved in the election process the day of. That's why I need, on the demographic side, they rely upon African American vote and souls to the polls and things of that nature a lot more. We got 1 minute. We're gonna go to break, but I want you to real quickly chime in on. Have you been tracking this overseas trip by Donald Trump at all?
No,
watching it all. Okay, so he's over there. He's been to hang out with the Pope for a little bit. They break some bread and drink some wine.
Right.
I guess
Right.
they'll do that.
Hopefully they praying for him.
But he went over there and he really wanted to take a win with him. How do you? And my understanding is also Barack Obama's hanging out. You know, he just he just took a little trip, get out over there. You think that affects his real quickly in like 15 seconds, his effectiveness on this trip overseas, having Obama there and not having already gotten legislation passed on his Build Back Better plan?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah. So I think he does come in with a little light step.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're gonna vote on it next week. So like in everything you do in America, you get to go ahead and use it as opposed to layaway. He'll be able to take credit for what's going to happen next week. They're going to vote on the bill. It's going to pass, and then we'll be off and running, engaged in some other activities that I think people are trying to say about his lack of leadership. But I think all that's going to come together. First, I think handicapping the Virginia race, I think he's going to win. I think McCullough's going to pull it out. You know, we always under what is it called? Canvas African American voters. They always count our numbers, and of course they don't canvas the black voters. So we're gonna take this break. We're gonna come back, and I got a few more questions. We have live in studio. Everybody, call the trucker. Oh, say hit your horn, but there you go. I got you. In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. We'll be right back.
Angela Birdsong, and during the week, I'm affectionately known as the Medicare lady. Do not try to navigate Medicare without me. Please call me at 813-476-4837. I also do life insurance, and I will help people who are Medicare, Medicaid. Once again, 813-476-4837. 4837.
We're back live on Intex News Radio, reality radio where everybody can be a star. Again, my name is Clinton Paris. I'm sitting in the studio, and if you're watching us on Facebook, your eyes are not deceiving you. That is not a darker, healthier, robust sweet pea that was in the seat. That is Carl. You may know him as a longtime caller, calls into the show all the time. And he was in the area, and I called him. I said, "Listen, come in the studio, man. Let's put a face to that voice that you're sharing with people, and just want to let you know share some love and how much we appreciate you listening weekly, calling in, adding to the show, adding a perspective. It's a good thing because, in my mind, In Touch News represents a very powerful beacon in the world, in that it." A lot is a medium for information and exchange. Believe it or not, I have free reign, people, when I come on this station to say whatever I think and want to say. Daryl and Tammy Johnson, the owners of In Touch News, do not force any messaging on myself. They give all their hosts and show the people that come on the radio just a platform to share information and promote the diversity of our community. And provide you with the empowerment that allows you to affect your lives in a positive way. So I'm just always moved, and I don't take it for granted every chance I get to be behind this microphone. And I just thank them for the opportunity. And I just hope that you all will support the station. If you own a business think about contacting station advertising. We love to have you on the show. We love to have you on the air, part of the In Touch News family. There's also a print medium of In Touch News that circulates in the community, updates people on activities and events that things are going on. And Daryl and Tammy, not only through In Touch News do they do this show and the station, but they also provide live events where local businesses get the ability to show and do what they want to do. They let local artists get on and perform and give them a platform to share. It's just a wonderful environment of support. And I just want, if you're in the economic arena, this thing doesn't exist because it exists. It exists because people work hard and support it. So I welcome anybody out there to please support In Touch News in any way you can. Okay, Carl. So we got about 10 minutes or so. 5. Bezel will tell me I got 7. But anyway, we're going to take 10. Listen, I got a couple more things just want to run by you. I have grave concerns, and I keep putting this out. It's a where is Kamala call? What is Kamala doing? I'm so disappointed, and I just don't feel her presence. I don't feel her impact. You know, even with passing these bills, you know, when Obama did a lot of things, oftentimes they would, you know, Joe would be involved somewhere showing some kind of impact. Is her profile as a vice president too low to be effective?
No, it's not. As a vice president, you're mostly heard than seen. You know, because when Joe Biden was vice president, you would hear him out like maybe every 3 months. Every 3 months, or either, you know, Mr. Obama would bring him up and, you know, and present him with a plaque or something, or whatever, or mention his name. As a vice president, you're always a supporter more so than a lead person.
All right, well, now I just go by what people say.
Yeah, you're a supporter.
They said she's going to handle the voting rights bill.
Okay.
I've not seen much action on that.
Which you don't need to see. You need to hear it.
I hadn't heard it either. I didn't know what. I never heard some stuff. Okay. I had heard from her though.
Okay.
Her image is not stamped on it. When you say voting rights, you're gonna say, "Oh, Kamala."
Okay.
Voting rights. Oh, Kamala. Okay. Let me tell you where she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be dealing with immigration. She's supposed to have gone to the Triangle. You know, se habla españoles and, you know.
all that.
She did all that, right?
All that. Right.
And then she got down there, guess what happened? She found out it was a horde of Haitians. She had to come back. She's somewhere learning
a different language.
Okay, Creole.
Right. And that goes where, according to what news media you listen to, those one that's gonna advertise, you know. That's
all right. Okay. So let me decode. Let me decode because he said something, brother, to try to slide it by. He's accusing me of listening to conservative stations which don't show Kamala's face.
There you go.
That's what he just accused me of. That's what they see.
That's what he just said.
That's what he just said. Well, for your information, I also watch more liberal shows as well. I do watch a lot of conservative.
So you're gonna get some of that in.
But I just don't see her. She's got to get her profile up to make an impact on, so that when things go over. For example, the Build Back Better plan is going to be passed, right? Who gets credit for that?
Joe Biden will.
But she doesn't because she's nowhere around the scene.
She's the vice president.
The voting bill is going to get passed.
Yeah.
Guess how it's going to get passed? They're going to drop the filibuster rule for that one item. But guess who won't get credit for it? She won't. Because she's not out front on it.
She's a vice president.
I know she is, but you get...
The administration will.
I'll give you a good example.
That administration. And she's in the administration.
Yeah, but you need to have... You
can't say... You can't put the vice president above the president.
When you're given a portfolio, and every president gives their vice president portfolio because you have a future that you want to have. And when you go do that, you want to claim things. Like, when Obama came in office, the economy had just crashed. He said, Joe Biden... fix the economy. What does Joe Biden do when he's running for election? Say, hey guys, remember me?
Remember, right.
I fixed the economy.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. She needs to make sure
she needs her standout moment that she can build on if she's going further in the future of becoming the first female president. So.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's true.
Thank you. You say it much better now.
But she will be able to use the administration when she's in the administration. There's no she's the vice president. And as the vice president, as the administration, In administration, you can't say.
Don't walk in there.
You can't say.
I'll give you an example.
You can't say.
Stay with me on
Joe
this.
Biden and Kamala.
Okay.
On
all
every.
right. So hold on for a minute. Stay right there.
Okay.
How about the Iraq War? Who was in the Bush administration?
Mm-hmm.
Who dealt with that whole thing? The Vice President Cheney. That was his portfolio. Was defense
because he had an interest.
I know, but
he
what
had
I'm
an
saying,
interest in it.
I got it though.
He had a personal interest in it.
What I'm saying though, Carl, is
that's why he dealt with it.
You drive alone, right? You drive a truck. You
Right.
drive by yourself, right? Okay, I can tell because you just hog on the mic.
You can tell just by that, right?
Yeah, nobody else in that. Nobody's else in that cab. He got the wheel.
Nobody else is in there.
Nobody grabbing the steering wheel.
But if you had somebody in there, right?
Okay.
You got to give them enough of the wheel so that on the day that you take vacation or you're sick or you're ill, they can actually drive the truck, right?
That's true.
And I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I just think Kamala needs to be careful. I think it's this is a two-headed monster. I think there are forces at play that don't want her to become too strong, because you got to deal with it then. We're gonna keep you where you are, and not let you get too, and she needs to be careful with that. I think the second thing is I think there's some sexism going on. I think they're looking at her and saying, "Well, you can't handle this."
I think that's natural though, because of the fact that she is a female. That it's natural that it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You can expect that to happen because people are gonna say.
My wife watches. I have to. I'm all total feminist. Hey, honey, you can do it all.
I didn't say it's right. I'm just saying. It's natural that it's gonna happen.
So now will we say that would race play a role in it?
Yeah,
it's always played a race.
All the factors play a role in all the dynamics.
Okay,
they just need to change the narrative. That's all they need to do is change the narrative. Let Kamala get some real good projects and
low hanging fruit.
Do good.
She needs some low hanging stuff that's gonna get across
with
the
immigration.
That's a dangerous one there because you can't fix. It's not one of those things that you fix and you're done.
But the immigration, because Biden was really pushing the Build Back Better thing. He was really pushing that, so he couldn't deal with that, and that was a little low. Hey,
because those are gonna pass. I think both of those bills are gonna pass. Next week, and we'll be on track. Can you believe it's already time's up? Yeah. That's 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
That's 30 minutes. Like that. Listen, Carl, I want to appreciate you coming in, spending some time with us this morning. Anything that you want to say before we close out the show?
Yeah. Say as a trucker, whatever, and if you're in front of a trucker, don't brake check a trucker, man.
What does brake check mean?
When you slam, you pass him, come in front of him, and just hit the brakes.
Yeah.
We cannot stop in 10 feet.
Yeah.
It takes us sometime, according to what our load is, our weight, it's going to take us at least 100 yards.
Right.
Do not brake check a trucker. We're trying to feed our families. We're trying to live and make a living just like everybody else. And that accident can end our career.
Well, thank you, Carl, for coming in this morning. I want to give a shout out. Hey, listen, my sister Evelyn has been having some health issues, and just want to give a shout out to the old girl that got some good reports in the last couple of days. She's going to be being released from the hospital. So just want to give a shout out to my sister, who's been in the real fight, the one that led the Paris family down to Tampa, and just the matriarch of all that's good around us. And I know she's watching on Facebook and listening this morning. You be strong, Ev, and we're looking forward to you coming home. Hey, listen, appreciate y'all very much for listening in this morning. DJ Bezel, always, bro. Hey, man, you run a tight show. Want to thank the Johnsons for the platform. And Pete, we want you back, man. Hope you got some rest.
Sweet Pete.
And we'll see you next week. In Texas News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star.